Hey, do you have a few minutes for me to give you a brief life lesson? Life insurance is generally rated on three things: age, health, gender. Again, that's age, health, and gender. The older you are, the more expensive life insurance is. The healthier you are at that age, the better rate you get. All things being equal, men are more expensive than ladies because men do stupid things. Sorry guys, it is true, we do stupid things. Now there are three basic types of life insurance. The first type of life insurance is term life insurance. Term life insurance is just like renting an apartment. When you rent an apartment, you sign a lease for a year, for 3 years, for 5 years. You pay your money every month, then you get a place to live. It's cheaper than some other options. If something breaks, if the roof leaks, you don't have to pay to fix it. You just make a phone call and they come fix it for you. But there are some downsides to renting, like you don't own that apartment. So the money you're paying in is not like you can turn and sell that apartment for a profit. At the end of your lease, you either have to sign a new lease or you have to move out. And if you sign a new lease, it's going to be more expensive, cost of living, inflation, new management, all those things that can happen. But it's a great place to start. It's cheap and you have a place to live. That's the way term insurance works. So we sign a lease for 10 years, for 20 years, or for 30 years. We pay our money every month. We've got life insurance. It's cheaper than other options, but there's some downsides too. You don't really own that policy. At the end of the lease, you either have to move out, the insurance goes away, or you have to sign a new lease. If you sign a new lease, it's going to be more expensive because you're 10, 20, or 30 years older. And maybe your health has changed. But it is a great place to start. It's a valuable option, and it's our cheapest option: term insurance. The second type is called whole life insurance. Whole life is just like buying a house. When you buy a house, you sign a contract. You pay your money every month, and the house is yours. Nobody can take it away from you. It builds cash value. You can borrow against it, and it's listed as an asset. However, buying a house is more expensive than renting an apartment, and there's some inherent cost to it. Homeowner's insurance. If that roof leaks, you have to pay to fix it. But it's your house. Nobody can take it away from you. Whole life insurance works the same way. We sign a contract, we pay our money every month, we have life insurance. Nobody's going to take it away from us. It builds cash value. You can borrow against it. It's listed as an asset. However, it is more expensive than renting term insurance. There are some inherent fees and costs to it, but it's yours. It will pay a death benefit, you own it, and nobody's going to take it away from you. Now, just for illustration's sake, let's say a minimum face amount of term insurance at $100,000 might cost you $25 a month. $25 a month, term, temporary. For that same amount of whole life, it may cost you $200 a month. Whole life insurance, $200, yours forever, permanent. Most of you are probably going, wow, I like the price of term, but I like the benefits of whole life insurance. And that's okay, because guess what? There's a third type of insurance. It's called universal life. Here's how universal life works. We pay a premium that falls somewhere between two extremes. Let's call it 100. So you pay $100 a month. The first 25 buys a month's worth of term. The remaining 75 gets invested for your benefit. The next month you pay 100. 25 buys term, 75 gets invested for your benefit. Now, as you get older, the term insurance gets more expensive. So maybe in 20 years, that term insurance now costs $50 a month. Well, you pay $100 a month, 55 buys a month's worth of term, 50 gets invested for your benefit. Maybe 20 years after, that term insurance now costs $125 a month. You pay $100 and it all gets applied to that month's worth of term. But we're $25 short. That's okay, because for the last 40 years, you've been saving and investing this big pot of money. So the life insurance company takes 25 out of the cash value and applies it to that month's worth of term insurance. So we overpay when we're young, so we can underpay when we're old. It's a permanent policy, but it's built on term principles. Now, there are three basic types of universal life. They all work the same way. We're going to buy term and invest the rest. The only difference is how and where that money is invested. So the first type of universal life is traditional universal life. There's a floor. You'll never make less than, let's say, 0.25%. But there's also a cap on how much you can have. Let's call that 2%. The money is invested in interest rates, floor, and a cap. Traditional universal life. The second type is called variable universal life. The money is invested directly in the stock market. Now, this is great because when the market is doing great, there's no cap. Let's say the stock market does 15%. You get all of that 15%, but there's also no floor. So if the stock market crashes, you can lose a portion or all of the money that you've invested. So we have traditional. We also have variable. The third type is called universal life. It has a floor of 0, meaning you'll never lose any of your invested money. It also has a cap of 12.5%. So if the market goes up 5%, you get all of that 5%. If the market goes up 10%, you get all of that 10%. If the market goes up 15%, you make 12.5%. I don't know about you, but I would be thrilled if my investments were all making 12.5%. Which one of these three sounds best to you? Usually the answer I receive is index universal life. And that's actually the kind of policy I have. Let me tell you a little bit about index universal life. There are some added benefits to it. We can actually invest more into this policy, and it's your money in your policy. So if you ever need that money, you can get it back out. It has plenty of growth potential. It's tax deferred growth. So there's a lot of money being invested for you at 0 risk. Trust me, it is not too good to be true. You may be thinking, how much does this cost, Justin? This sounds like a great product, and I want to get invested right away. I can never lose any money either? Wow. Well, how much does it cost? That's really not the right question. This is your account. How much do you want to invest for your future? What's a good budget for you today? So it's not necessarily how much does it cost, it's how much do you want to invest. Again, it's your money in your account. You can get your money back when you need it, but how much money do you want to put into your future? That, my friends, is the right question.